The streets of Houston were quiet that early autumn morning, the sun barely creeping over the skyline. Maya Wilson, 22, carried her worn backpack filled with notebooks and sketches as she made her way to her part-time job at a local cafe. Maya's life hadn't been easy. She grew up in a small apartment with her younger brother and mother, who worked 2 jobs just to pay rent and keep food on the table. Her father had left years ago, leaving behind nothing but bills and heartache. Despite the challenges, Maya had always dreamed big. She wanted to become an engineer, designing innovative structures that could transform cities and lives. But her path was riddled with obstacles, lack of money, lack of connections, and countless rejections from scholarships and programs she applied to. Every night after finishing her cafe shift, she would retreat to her small bedroom. There, with a single desk lamp, she taught herself advanced math, physics, and computer-aided design using free online resources. Her eyes burned from hours of reading and sketching. Her hands cramped from constant note-taking. Many nights she considered quitting. The financial burden, the exhaustion, and the loneliness weighed heavily on her. Friends went out, celebrated, and enjoyed their youth. Maya spent those same nights solving equations and modeling buildings on her old laptop. "Why am I doing this?" she whispered to herself more than once. But deep inside, a quiet voice answered, "Because if I stop now, everything I dream of disappears." Her journey wasn't just academic. Every day brought physical and emotional challenges. Maya worked double shifts at the cafe, often arriving before sunrise and leaving after midnight. Sometimes the cafe manager was rude, customers impatient, and co-workers unhelpful. But she never complained. Every shift was a stepping stone toward her ultimate goal. At 23, Maya applied for an internship at a mid-sized engineering firm in Houston. She submitted her application, portfolio, and recommendation letters. Days turned into weeks with no response. Finally, she received an email. "We regret to inform you." Her heart sank. She sat on her bed, the rejection letter crumpled in her hand. For a moment, despair consumed her, but then she remembered what her mother always said: "The world doesn't hand out opportunities to dreamers who quit. You have to fight for them." Maya took a deep breath, smoothed the letter, and whispered, "Then I'll keep fighting." She spent the next year working even harder. She enrolled in free workshops, networked with engineers online, and created small independent projects to showcase her skills. She woke at 4 a.m. daily to study before work and often stayed up until 2 a.m. perfecting her designs. Her breakthrough came when she volunteered to help rebuild a local community center that had been damaged in a storm. Though unpaid and exhausting, her work was noticed by the project supervisor. "Your designs are incredible," he said. "You should be working professionally." That led to a small paid project, then a bigger one, and eventually a recommendation to a prominent engineering firm. At 25, Maya landed her first full-time role as a junior engineer. The work was challenging. She was often the youngest in the room, sometimes the only woman, and frequently overlooked in meetings. But Maya's mindset was unshakable. She approached every task with focus, prepared hours in advance, and absorbed every lesson she could. Mistakes happened, deadlines were missed, machines failed, and projects stalled. Yet she refused to let failure define her. Instead, she analyzed every error, learned from it, and came back stronger. Her resilience earned the respect of her mentors. Within 3 years, she was promoted to project lead on a high-profile urban development project. By 28, Maya had founded her own engineering consulting firm, Skyline Innovators, dedicated to creating sustainable, community-driven projects. Her company provided internships and mentorship to young women in STEM, particularly those from underprivileged backgrounds like her own. At a national engineering conference in Dallas, Maya shared her story. "I grew up thinking the world would decide my worth. I was wrong. The world doesn't decide anything for you. Your mind and your discipline do. You will face obstacles, rejections, and failures. But your determination, your willingness to sacrifice comfort, and your belief in yourself, that's what will carry you to your dreams." The audience erupted in applause, inspired by her journey. Young engineers approached her, eyes shining, seeking guidance and hope. Maya often reflected on her journey, the countless nights she worked without rest, the rejections, the loneliness, the sacrifices. They had all been worth it. Every struggle became a lesson, every hardship a stepping stone. She understood now, true achievement isn't measured in comfort or accolades. It's measured in resilience, courage, and the ability to keep going when the world says no. One quiet evening, as she looked out over the Houston skyline, Maya whispered, "I fought. I sacrificed. I never quit. And now my dreams are no longer just mine, they belong to everyone I can inspire."